Okay, we're putting the outside back on now. The outside back is just as important as any other part of the chair, because most of the time they're up against the wall, but a lot of the time your customer or you will slide it into a dining chair or into an open room. So take the time to center your fabrics on the back also. And see, that's going to be off center. I'm going to lay that there, and lay that there, and lay that there. And that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to take skewers. These are the 190S's. And I'm going to pin them right here and right here to hold my pattern in place. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Now the fabric's laying where I want it to lay. And I'm going to start with the ply grip end. So what you got to do is you're going to need a regulator, and you're going to need a mallet. Mallets, this is our rawhide mallet, 196.3, and of course our regulator. I'm going to get down here on my knees so I can get close and personal with it. You can zoom in on this whole area here. You're going to trim about 1/2 inch, and you can see with my fingers I'm following the welt cord or the trim with my fingers. And you want to go about 1/2 inch from that, because it's a fat welt, and trim. You want to have about 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch to tuck underneath the ply grip. All right, and then now you want to start in the center. So you have your fabric, you have your Dacron, you have your ply grip, and you have your trim. Now, you want to make sure when you do this, you start in the center and you take your regulator and tuck it up underneath there. Now, sometimes you're going to have problems with your trim getting in the way. Just move it out of the way with your fingers, because you don't want it to get stuck underneath there with your fabric. It's catching on the teeth. Always work to your ends. Always work from the center out. Now I'm getting over here and I'm getting a little too much fabric, so I'm going to trim a little more off. Remember, it's always better to have some to trim off than none to put in. You want to make sure all your cording is not stuck underneath there with your fabric. Now take your mallet and gently tap it down. And tap it down in a row so you can feel that it's coming nice and clean. And I'm going to switch over to this side and do this side. See, this side's coming nice and straight, and I still have a little extra there. As you can see, a regulator is a pretty handy tool in all aspects of the trade. It's a must-have. And again, tap it down. Now, ply grip's on. Everything looks nice and clean. You're going to want to pull the fabric up and temporarily tack it in the center. You remember, the sides are still on, are still tacked down with the skewers. I'm going to remove one side because I'm going to put the tack strip on this side. Trim some of your fabric out of the way. And you want to trim a little extra here. You want to go about an inch, inch and a half from your welt line or your cord line. And you're putting these tacks over here because you see when you pull, you're going to keep your stuff in the center. You're going to need your rawhide mallet. And you flip your fabric back. Lay, I don't know if you can see this, lay your tack strip right on top of your welt cord. Place it where you want and keep it a little bit away from the corner at the top because you want that fabric all to fold up inside there. And then tack it. Come down to the far end here, pull up and out and tack it. And the rest you should be able to punch through with your finger. And then what you do is you pick up the fabric, flip everything underneath. Make sure you have a nice, don't have a big bump right there. Make sure it's going to sit into your corner. And start at the top. Tap right on top of the nail. You go to the next nail. Never go down here, because if you come down here and start hammering, you end up going to have a wavy piece of ply grip and it's not going to look good on your fabric. Okay, that's on. It looks all nice and clean. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to finish the other side. We'll come back and we'll show you how to finish up the bottom.